So I think from a customer perspective, there's a lot of similarities. The demand for flexibility and service is growing in most markets, which causes a lot of friction for investors because investors want operators to sign a long-term lease. And these days, as we've seen in the past years, that lease arbitrage model has been challenged by VCs funding undisciplined growth. So, but on the other side, you've got a lot of brands coming out, a lot of new operators. So it becomes an issue for landlords to figure out who to partner with and in what structure. Then you've got a lot of landlords, a lot of owners who maybe want to get involved in the upside of the increase in NOI that the flexible and variable incomes produce. But to deliver this experience in a building, it's quite expensive from a CapEx perspective. So it's quite difficult. And I think the big challenge is lining up the capital, who's going to finance what. The landlords own the building, asset back gets cheaper cost of capital, whereas a lease model comes in. If they're not getting a significant contribution from the landlord, then it's quite expensive to make the deal pencil for the operator. Management agreement concept is not anything new. Hotels have been doing it for ages, but in office it's relatively new. In London, for instance, is really picking up, but in mainland Europe you still have a lot of conservative traditional investors. I think what I expect is you'll see a lot of investors that invest in operational real estate like hotels and data centers and logistics potentially come into office in the near future. We might see a sort of a musical chairs of investor capital, but right now I don't see management agreements scaling significantly in the mainland Europe yet, but it's coming. Yes, of course. I was on a panel yesterday with Loom, the director for Loom, which is a flex co-working brand owned by Merlin Properties. It's a PropCo-OpCo model that they have. They're the largest flex operator on the Iberian Peninsula. They are growing significantly, but they're not the only ones. You also see some US and UK operators growing into mainland Europe. For instance, Clockwise, Industrious, and even WeWork is starting to have some more activities these days. But again, there's a lot of independents and boutiques that are coming up. So I think what we're seeing is the beginning of the industry, the future of the industry unfold. I've been saying for a long time that the industry looks like the hotel industry with a few major brands, but a lot of smaller independent brands across different markets. So this is the thing about real estate today is it's moved from a B2B to B2C, and I think whereas in the past a company told people they had to be in the office, and today obviously the office is just one of the tools in the platform of work, and so that's going to vary from market to market, from company to company, but also from person to person. And I think where fast-growing companies have strong cultures that aren't necessarily mandating, but may be agreeing a certain guidelines with their teams on how often they come into the office. But that's going to vary from whether a city center is easily commutable, a 15-minute city, or whether there's longer commutes, hour or two plus. You're going to see more people in the office when it doesn't take much to get there.